Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. It's the XK Falcon K100. This one's going to be able to fly 3D and also the stabilized 6G mode. It's also brushless. So we're going to have plenty of power, and this is such a small form factor that it should be perfect for people kind of learning these little helicopters if you're kind of getting into it. You may remember my first actually delve into a helicopter was a little bit larger helicopter, and I crashed that one. It still works fine, but it was a great learner. This might even be better because it's so much smaller. You're not going to have that impact issue with breaking things when you do crash. But check it out. It's 1106 powerful brushless motor. It does 3.7 volt 450 milliamp hour battery in there. This is gonna be fun. So we're going to unbox this, set it up, fly it out of the park, and then do a pros and cons. So hang in there and let's get started. Without further ado, let's go ahead and open this thing up. There's the red there, that's the one I got. And it looks like it's Futaba protocol, that's right. So these are using the Futaba protocol. Supposedly, XK has some kind of deal with Futaba on that. So we should be getting great range and great control. Anyway, there's the instruction manual and the remote control instructions. First thing we see in the box. And wow, this is packaged very well. So we got our parts kit box here. We got the helicopter here, and then the controller here. Nothing else left in the box. The box just kind of slides open like this. And look at this little guy. So that's all that's in there, is the helicopter kind of taped to this bottom cardboard. So I'm really excited about this because I'm still learning helicopters, and I think this will really help me learn because it's not so big that I'm going to be afraid to crash it and try 3D and stuff. And these ones are very similar to quadcopters. If you're used to quadcopters and flying, you know, switch it into 6G mode and you have all the same kind of functionality as a quadcopter. Of course, it's going to handle a little bit differently, but very much similar. Got this nice foam protector here on the propellers. And there it is. Look at this guy. So the K110 XK, those are just the graphics on it here. 3D 6G modes. Very extremely light. Got a brushed motor over here for the tail rotor. Looking a little more in depth to the, I guess this is the swash plate. I'm not an expert in helicopter terminology, so forgive me if I get some of these wrong. Canopy, I'm going to pull this apart. Just these little rubber grommets like most other quadcopters have and helicopters. Holding the fuselage here. Very small, light, and pretty well detailed here. Pretty darn neat. And then looking at the midsection, the main helicopter here, there's our brushless motor. So looks like maybe a little 1106, probably somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 kV. I'm not really sure, but that's the brushless motor there, and it's just turning the main spur and the shaft to the rotors here. This tube here looks like maybe fiberglass or possibly carbon fiber. It's a square, little very rigid tube here, and of course you're going to have the power to the rear motor there running through that tube. And here's our 3 servos for 3 points of articulation. So there's one mini servo there, there's one mini servo in the front side, and then another mini servo on the back with the other servo there. So that's going to give us our full 3D capable flight, where we're going to be flipping it upside down, and we can actually fly upside down, flip over, and all kinds of stuff. So that's what's so cool about these little ones. They're getting cheap, and you also have great capabilities with these guys. And there's our flight controller right inside here. We have our little antenna sticking up here. I'm going to stick it actually over these wires just to give us a little better range. Of course, the canopy is going to be sliding over that. And that's really just about it. Nothing super special here. It looks like on the bottom, this is our ESC there. One single ESC on the bottom. And that's where we're going to slide in our battery. Speaking of the battery, this is it. So it's just a 1S battery. You can see how we have that Wakera low C connector there, micro connector. And there it is, just 3.7 volt, 450 milliamp hour battery that's going to slide right in. Cool, let's see what else we got in the box here. So we've got a little parts box on the side. And let's see what we got. Hopefully some extra parts just in case we crash and burn a few times. Extra tail rotor. And there is an extra set of propellers, a screwdriver, an Allen wrench, and a spare main gear. Awesome. usually the norm for these types of quadcopters, or helicopters rather. And here's the charger, just a very simple USB charger with 2 ports to charge up that battery. Probably gonna take about a half hour to charge that battery up, so get a couple if you can. And last but not least is the radio. So this is the Futaba protocol type of radio. So you should be getting great control and great range from this guy, since it's using that Futaba protocol. Wow, packaged very well. We have a big plastic bag over the whole thing, and we also have the antenna is all protected, the controls are all protected. They must have had some problems with the antenna cracking and chipping or something. But there we go. So we have our throttle hold, dual rates, and then we have our flat mode, we have our 3D mode here, and of course we have our throttle here, roll, pitch, and rudder. So I should be saying elevator, aileron, and rudder here, and then our throttle or accelerator here. Trim buttons there, and we have now this controller. If this is the X6, so it should be quite tunable in the firmware inside. So that's great. We can go into mode. We can go into we got a back button here. We have this little dial, so we can push to select. We should be able to control rates of flight and everything in here, kind of like XK's, a couple of their other toyish hobby quads. They had the ability, it was pretty cool, to adjust a bunch of rates. So see if we can do that in this one. So one of these is going to actually get us in and out of 6G mode, and then one of these is actually going to get us in and out of the upside down 3D flight mode. Okay, so we'll go over that when we fly it. This should be fun. You might see me crash again. As far as the batteries go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just regular AA batteries. And it looks like we do have a little trainer port in the back there, so that's pretty cool. These ones seem to perform very well. So XK has a good thing going with those ones. So it looks like that's everything in the box, guys. I'm gonna put this thing back together, charge the battery, and I'll meet you out in the park. And let's go see how this thing flies and have some fun. Cool. Let's go fly it. All right, guys, so at the park with the little XK K110 heli. And I got 2 batteries here. I got one that came with it, the 450, and I have a 550 here from a different drone. I'm not sure if it's gonna fit. It's gonna be super tight, but we'll try it on this one. If I need a little bit more power and to do a little bit more, I'll try to squeeze this one in and see if we can do it. But I'm definitely gonna be attempting some 3D acrobatics. So I'm definitely a little bit less afraid to crash this one because it's so small and light that this may be just perfect for practicing 3D. So we go ahead and power this thing up and get started. So it looks like for the best battery connection, you may want to slide it in from the back under the gear, just because so when you do put the fuselage on, you have some room to plug this in. If you slide it in the other way and the battery wires up here, once you put this on, it's kind of tough to put the cover on. So looks like this might be the best way to do it. Okay, so just making sure we get this whole cover on. Everything's free to spin. We don't want any gears hitting the cover. That looks pretty good. Controller on, and let's plug in. Okay, hearing a couple chimes here. I don't have my launch pad today, so I'm just launching from this Sim 2 Moment drone case that I'm currently in review of. We should be good to go. So it looks like to have the throttle hold on is towards you, and to arm it basically. See how I don't have any spinning of the rotors? Push this forward. I should be able to spin up. Throttle up for 3D mode, so I want to leave that forward. When I switch it back, you can see that it maintains a certain RPM for doing 3D maneuvers. So I think we should be good to go. So we're going to spin up and launch it. Wow, nice. So there's a little bit of wind coming from my back here. That's why it's getting a little pushed forward. And I believe this should be in rate 1. So far so good. Look at that. So let me try to flip this dual rate switch down after I get a feel for this. Full pitch forward. See that there? Full pitch back. Just trying to take it easy on it. And let's do a roll, full roll left, full roll right, so you can kind of see what the rates are. Now I'm going to flip this switch down. Yeah, so I gave it a few more degrees of pitch. See that? Woo! So you can fly a little faster, fight the wind. Wow, nice. A little peppy little guy. That's for sure. Let's try a full throttle up and see how fast it accelerates. So full throttle now. Okay, not super fast, but it looks like it'll do. Okay, does this thing have a acro mode? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember if it does. Let me land it real quick. See if I can land it on this black thing. Perfect. Okay, so definitely possible. Okay, so I think this switch here is going to be our acro or stabilized mode. So let's try that. I'm going to flip into that, and then I'm going to power up. Whoa, yep, that's acro. Okay, let's flip dual rates to low, and then out of acro, just so we get a hang of it. Make sure nothing's damaged from that little crash. Nope, everything's fine. And that's why it's super awesome to learn on one of these really small and light ones. So I should have cut my throttle on that. See how I was touching it without my throttle cut off? So we'll go up, we'll launch, and then I'm going to switch into acro and just show you how that is. So definitely touchy and hard to fly in acro line of sight. But let's try it. Whoa! Let's try like a flip or something. So punching it, and I'm gonna roll right. Whoa! Definitely just cut the throttle immediately. And I'm gonna throttle off if you crash. So definitely super easy. Don't have to worry about any crashing on this one. Nothing's broken. Just throttling down immediately when I hit the grass. So we'll go back into stabilize. Oh, feels like the battery's already, well, maybe not. Maybe I just needed to power up the blades. All right, let's try that again in acro. I want to do a flip. Okay, so switching into acro now. Throttle up. Oh, we're okay, I think. So it's not a super high rate for doing flips and stuff. So you may want to speed up the rates on the roll. And the way you do that is you can go into the modes. So if you push and hold mode, you heard a beep. And then we can kind of adjust our rates. So you see how I'm kind of scrolling down the menu here. You can reverse the servos, dual rates, exponential, throttle curve, P curve, and gyro. Anyway, let's go into rate 2 and let's mess with some of these rates here. So it looks like, actually they're all set to 100. I think you can go up to 120. Oh, 125. So I'm going to adjust all the rates to 125 in rate 2 and see if that helps us do a little bit faster flipping. Okay, 125 all the way across the board in dual rates. So not sure if that's going to give us a faster rate actually. I think what we need to adjust possibly, let's go back, is the exponential. Rate 2 is all -20. What if we up this a little bit? Let's make it 0. And also 2. We'll make it 0. And the throttle's already at 0, I believe. Let's try that. Let's just launch in rate 2. Then let's quickly try some more flips again before this battery dies. Wow. So quicker for sure. Okay. Switch into acro. Let's try that again. So I'm gonna go out in front of me here and try to do a roll flip. So acro, punching up, rolling. There we go. Okay, that was a roll, and that was a lot quicker. Okay, so you're gonna have to do that if you want tight rolls. Let's try that a little bit lower. There we go. Roll, let's try a backflip. Yeah. Cool, so you can do acrobatics, get in trouble, switch that left bottom toggle up, and you're back into stabilize mode. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna attempt some 3D flight now. Hopefully I have enough power. So I'm gonna go into our throttle up, the top left guy here. So I flip the top left up towards me. Now you can see if I punch it, it'll go up like normal, but then I pull down and it's changing the pitch the other way on the blades. So see how fast it comes down? So pretty awesome. And if I want to do upside down flying, I still have to go into acro mode. So flipping this down to acro now. And let's try some upside down flight. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull my throttle down as I flip over. So we'll flip over. Oh, okay. Quick. Okay. So that's the thing about doing 3D flight is unless you're used to the flying upside down, you're gonna get totally disoriented. Let's see what the damage is. That was some good practice, good little crash test. And you can see how I was kind of panicking and forgetting which switches were which. So really get familiar with your switches. But look at that. I don't see anything wrong aside from some dirt on the end of the blade here. Even the battery's still in. No strip gears. Oh, actually, wait a minute. The spur gear got pushed from the shaft a little. So we'll reline the pinion up and push that back on. Real simple there. Okay, cool. So if that happens and it's not contacting, hold the top and just push this gear in. It doesn't look like it's in with any screws or anything. There's just a push-on notch, so you should be good to go. That's actually a good little fail-safe. Okay, back into dual rates. Maybe I want to go into rate 1 when I go upside down. And let's try this again. Okay. So we're in rate 1, stabilize mode. I'm gonna flip into the 3D switch. Okay, so up and down. And we wanna go into, man, just a little bit of breeze really pushes this thing around, just so you know, guys. Flipping into acro. So what I wanna do, I'm gonna do a roll, fly upside down, and then roll forward again, or flip. So, throttle up till I flip, oh the wind, and then pull the throttle down when I'm upside down. Ooh. And then roll forward. Ooh. Okay, quick. Turn off the motors. Wow, I really nailed the ground there, didn't I? So I caught it and I was good upside down, but the problem was when I flipped back over, kind of lost orientation. So you got to be really careful of that. And it looked like that spur did pull down a little bit, which is okay. Just make sure this is your friend right here, the throttle hold switch. Flip that up immediately right before you're hitting the ground, or right when you hit the ground, just so you're not like jamming the gears and stuff, you know. No strippage yet though, that's great. See if it works. Yep. All right, still fine. Okay, I'm in acro already. Switch into 3D mode. Now let's try this again. Forward flip, upside down to forward flip, right side up. Whoa, it's confusing. Ah, did it, okay. Just gotta remember that pulling down when you're upside down makes you go up. Okay? Let's try a back flip like that. Cool, so we're upside down back. Ooh, see, there we go again. Really got to learn that when you're upside down, pulling down makes you go up. I just totally, my mind couldn't comprehend that for that moment in time. But flipped off the throttle right away, and we're a-okay, I think. Okay. All right, that time I left it in 3D mode and just did a launch. Okay, let's try it again. So backflip. Oh. See that? There we go. Okay, getting the hang of it. Battery's getting weak now. Oh yeah, it's getting really weak. Probably don't want to go upside down anymore. So I'm gonna get out of 3D mode, flipping that top switch. And I'm gonna go back into stabilize, also flipping the bottom left switch. I'm back in stabilize. Just gonna fly it around a little bit. Let's go to rate 2. Fly it really quick. Whoa, look at those rates. Holy cow. So what I did with those rates, look how much pitch it has now. Whoa, it's like so much pitch it might hit the ground. That's amazing. So you can tweak this. This is like a beginner 3D helicopter that you can really tweak. Look at this. Realize I'm kind of flying it like a quadcopter, guys, sorry. But this is only the second helicopter I've had. Whoa. And it's doing pretty good. As you can see, if you're in stabilize mode, you can't flip it. But doing those adjustments I did, the rate increase, amazing. Doing much better. Well, faster anyway, once you get better. Actually, the battery is still feeling like it's got some life in it. Doesn't have as much power, but it's lasting. So this is, whoa. This is really what you should start with. If you're starting, even just helicopter in general, because you can switch in on demand into 3D mode or not. So even just beginning in general, this is great because you can turn it off and on that 3D mode. Okay, now we're getting low, pretty low. You can see how when I'm punching it, it's barely going up. Let's switch into rate 1 here. And let's just really easily finish this battery. There, it's going down. I've got full throttle up. Okay. Yeah, so it cut off its low voltage cut off. That's great. Cool, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that flight. That was amazing. Let's run into a little pros and cons with this guy. And to tell you the truth, I don't even think I need to use that other battery. I think we went through everything. Maybe I'll do a little clip with it flying with that heavier battery just so you guys can see how it's performing. I'll just include that with no talking and stuff at the end. But let's do a little pros and cons with this. Let me sit down and relax a little and let's talk about it. So the XK K110, this is the one to get if you want to begin with helicopters and you want to have the ability to do tricks and make adjustments on your rates, throttle curves, everything. XK, I mean, they continue to impress me on mixing toy grade with hobby grade. Kind of a toyish controller, but you have hobby grade functions in here where you can tweak all those settings, and I think that's excellent. You can see me crashing it quite a bit. Let me unplug this so we don't ruin the battery fully. Should have already unplugged it. But you can see me crashing it quite a bit, and it really held up. I got a little dirt on the blades. I got a little nick there in the back of the blade. And that's about it. You could see that when I did crash, the main spur here would kind of push down and sometimes get loose from the pinion gear. But there's no bent shafts. The thing is so small that nothing's gonna bend or break. Nothing stripped. There's no strippage of the gears here. Everything is still solid. And that's great. Well, actually there's a tiny bit on the top edge of this. When the thing pushed down, I can see how it was grinding just a tiny bit on the top, but the actual mesh of the gears are okay. And they give you an extra you know, repair kit in the box here. So learning how to fly, if you destroy that one, you've got an extra one right here in the box. You've got extra pretty much of everything except like the rods and stuff you may eventually bend. You got gears, propellers, and that tail rotor, or gears, main rotors, and the tail rotor extra. But again, pleasantly surprised, super impressed. Really recommend it. I'm seeing ball bearings in the main rotor too, along the shaft, so ball bearings will make everything last longer too. The battery life lasted pretty long. If I can, I'll have that pop up on the screen, and I'll just, you know, kind of compile the total flight time. There goes that dog again, sorry guys. But for what it is, excellent. I'd really recommend this for a beginner helicopter. I know this is like the second one I've had, and I'm just like super impressed with it. So anyway guys, check it out, link in the description if you want to check out the pricing and the specs, and I will see you in the next flight test. Thanks for watching. Oh. Whoa. Oh, so you can switch into stabilize when you're upside down and just fly under upside down stabilize. That's cool. Flip over, get your bearings, flip bottom left switch into stabilize, and now we're upside down. Ooh. Oh boy. Ooh, in the sun. This thing's lasting for a long time. Move!